We're live. That worked. I think it worked. Are we live?
It looks like we might. Well, it says. Well, the set reminder thing is
We
still
are.
over on the. Oh, okay. Are we?
Yes.
Okay, I see
We're
us.
live.
Yep. No, we are in fact
I don't know
live.
what I'm doing. This is
Okay.
Romina's
No. Well,
job.
I mean, we're flying solo, is what we're doing. All
Yeah.
right. So I'll do our like quote unquote like fake intro while you tweet out to the
Yeah.
to the tweeple to our tweeple.
The tweet.
Yeah. Or should I wait until like people are here to do our fake intro?
I don't know. We're just winging it. So whatever you want to do. We got two
Okay.
people watching. Hello.
One of them's me. The other
Oh.
one's probably you.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll tweet it out.
Right on.
But this is like the beginning of the podcast. So
Yeah, no, it's the pre-show, right? It's like it's the pre-show. Uh, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-bow.
I'm trying to tweet. We're also live at the same time. What should I
Yeah,
say? We're live. Romina abandoned us,
yeah.
but it's
That
okay.
sounds like a title. That's the perfect title because it's the truth. It's the thing that happened. It's like she ditched us to go gallivanting all across the world,
She's
and
in
so
Ireland. How dare she
yeah,
leave us
exactly. So no, this episode, Romina, when you're watching the replay, is us like talking about you behind your back for gallivanting
the
in
entire
Ireland. But
time?
no, but I kid. Like that's a joke, everybody. That's a joke. Because I have to,
Okay.
for disclaimer purposes, make sure everyone knows that's a joke.
Okay, I tweeted it.
All right, you tweeted it to our tweeples.
Yes.
To our tweeples. Our tweeples. Our tweeple people. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I assume our usual cast of rogues will be here. Oh, I see our usual cast of
What's up,
rogues in
Gabe?
the chat. What's up, Gabe? What's up, Andrew? Rest in
Got
Romina.
you.
That's funny. All right. So
Romina's
since we,
probably sleeping right now.
yeah, no, seriously, it's like 2 a.m. over there. All right. So now that we've got
How
our
dare she
tweeple.
not wake up?
So since we have our tweeple, hey, what's up, Elliot? Since we have our tweeple
Elliot.
watching, I'll go ahead and roll the fake intro. Welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, the podcast where we basically talk about nothing. And now your host, because we only have 2 of the 3, we won't be introing Romina, or she who will not be named, who we will continue to talk about throughout the podcast without her being here. And as for your second host, she is the girl on fire, or at least we hope she's not, but she still enjoys playing with it, despite all of the cautionary tales. Audrey Ember. And your second host, a man who is always late to everything but was on time for this,
I know. I was late today. Oh
Roberto Blake. All right, so everybody, hey, how's it hanging? Welcome to the show. We are down one woman. We are down one host. So it's just me and the Ember flying solo. What's up today, Audrey? What you been up to this week?
I've been trying to get this video done for like
What's
3 days now, which is kind of annoying. But
what's your video and what's the holdup?
so it's basically I had this idea, or I had a challenge to, like, for my viewers to take a picture of their hometown and like try and get a new angle or something. The whole point is to like take something that's boring and normal and make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how can I bring this to the extreme? So I decided to take pictures in front of the worst backdrop I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally went out and like tried to take cool like portraits in front of a trash can or a dumpster. And they actually turned out pretty cool. But
I think
yeah.
you should have tried meditating on top of a dumpster. I think you should have tried.
Oh my God.
I think you should have tried doing like a rail slide on the dumpster.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I think you yeah, I think you could have I think you could have got on a dumpster and done like a hanging 10 like you're riding on top of it and it's like yeah.
Solution right there.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm weird. I would think of like weird stuff like that with my previous background in photography.
What have you been up to?
Mostly bit boring business stuff, like, but not boring to me, but boring for people to watch or to like make a vlog about or something like that. If I did that kind of thing, which I've been thinking about doing. I've been thinking about making once a week like a day in the life video to like one let me talk more about my business so that my like viewers understand that hey, I have a business and you can invest and spend money with me. But also for the purposes of like showing the unglamorous, like, I mean, I have a privileged enough lifestyle, but it's like it's relatively humble and boring in the sense that it's like I play with my dogs, Tugboat and Rio. I edit my videos, I do my phone calls, I like whenever we can hang with you and Jason. The travel is the most interesting part, but that's like work and mostly just having really cool dinner conversations. I'm filming some of my conversations now for the other channel. So like, I mean, all essentially I run a business, I'm writing a book, I do conference calls, I do coaching, and I sit there and I watch the stock market burn. And that's,
Best hobby.
and that's what I do. And like, and when I'm not working, I play my video games. And you know, I'm single AF, so I just like hang out with my friends and I go to the movies. Like, the end. It's like, but the good news is I don't have to clock in anymore. Instead of working a 9 to 5, I work random weird hours and I work at like 3 in the morning when I can't sleep. And you know, like I'm being your own boss is like, I guess, I mean, but that's a series for like videos, the truth about being your own boss. It's like what it's like to be your own boss. Like, and I have a good morning routine pretty much, but I'm working on a challenge. It's for a video. It's kind of like how you did Matt Diavella's thing for a week. I've been doing the Millionaire Morning for a month. So, I mean, that's what I've been up to.
What's a millionaire morning? What does that
Millionaire
even mean?
Morning is
They like
starting your day with
meditate for half an
the
hour in the
habits of
morning.
millionaires. Actually, I mean, that's one of it. It's like I took and distilled the best habits of millionaires from every one of the books that I read and all the websites and all the blogs and all the YouTube videos. I took the habits of millionaires and what their morning routine is, and I made the ultimate millionaire morning.
Okay. Wait, so what is that? What's the routine? Is this like a spoiler for your video?
I mean, there's not a lot of people here. I mean, I could talk a little bit about it if you're interested. I mean, I'm probably not going to list everything. Plus, I can't remember everything off the top of my head.
How long is it? What?
Well, one, it requires you to wake up. It requires you to wake up pretty early,
You
but
get up
it's
at like
all
4
about
a.m.
no, but it like because I decided to change it from it's wake up early, not wake up at 5 a.m. So that was one of the first
Mm,
things I challenged is look, I don't go to sleep early enough to justify waking up at 5 a.m. without abusing myself. And the thing
yeah.
that I've learned is you wake up early. So I think any time between before 9 a.m. is fine. And for me, what that represents is usually about 6:30 to 7 o'clock, 7:30. I don't really sleep usually past 7:30 or 8 o'clock or whatever. But the thing is, I have to actually get out of bed. And so I need something that will make me actually get out of bed. So part of that is, yeah, my alarm, but like the first things I do is I make sure the dogs have their food and that they go outside and I water my plants. And for me, that represents the beginning of starting silence, of starting quiet time.
Hmm.
Then I read for about 15 or 20 minutes. I have a bunch of books by my bed and I pick something to read and I read for 15 or 20 minutes. After I read for 15 or 20 minutes, I do about, 10 minutes of exercise. So my choices are I can either do crunches and push-ups and do that stuff, or I can go downstairs and do the exercise bike for 10 minutes, or I can go into the garage and I can work my heavy bag for a couple of minutes and do that, right? So those are my options. After I do my workout, I'm sweaty, so I go ahead and I do a
How
shower.
detailed this is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do a shower. All right. I'm invigorated. I have a shower. I'm fresh for the day. Now I'm not hitting like the socials just yet. I'm just going to go ahead and have a light breakfast. For me, usually because it's the easiest thing to make, I just have grits. So
Oh
I
my
have
God.
so I have
That's
grits.
the most southern thing. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, I
oh,
either have grits or I scramble some eggs. You know, maybe I throw like either some ham or some bacon on the pan, and that's that. So I have
hmm.
breakfast. I chill out. I usually start to scroll through my email or my socials while I'm having breakfast, which I shouldn't do, but like it's me. Um, and then after I start the beginning of my workday. Yeah. So basically, my millionaire morning routine takes about maybe an hour and a half. You know, that for me, the work day is somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30. Yeah. And and so
Nice.
that's the beginning of my that's what the I mean that's most of it. There's other little things, but like that's what most of my millionaire morning consists of. It's that I have quiet time, I have reading time. Oh, I forgot, I write things down. I write down things, and I do little things like the affirmations. I actually have a affirmations calendar. So um I do all of that stuff. And so for me, this represents the ultimate millionaire morning.
That was pretty
It's been
good.
working
That's
out
so
pretty
like
good.
I never thought of like the reading a book for 10 to 15 minutes, like right after you wake up. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
always like, yeah, that sounds nice. I'm trying to
it
read
is.
before I go to bed, but that never happens because
Yeah.
I'm always doing something on the
Yeah,
computer.
it's the reading thing is actually surprisingly you'll like it. You'll like it. The reading thing is actually really good because it starts your brain getting out of its fog and working through things, and it's not super intensive because you're reading and you're like comprehending and observing. And it's tickling. It's like tickling your brain. It's like, hey, whoa, like, okay, this is nice. I don't want to go back to bed. I actually want to give me more, feed me more. So it's like, so reading is like breakfast for your brain is kind of the way I think about it. Is like, okay, so like
It's a cool way to think of
indulging,
it.
yeah, indulging with the plants and reading as quiet time because it's hard for me to meditate. So for me, like the kind of meditation that people recommend is partly me doing the shower, soaking in the hot tub because like there's no other distraction. There's nothing else going on. So I can just be thoughtful in that moment. So for me, that's how I kind of hack meditating is if I
Hmm.
read, there's no other distractions. If I'm in the shower or the hot tub, there's no other distractions. I can't do anything else. So for me,
Yeah.
it's about maximizing in the morning, quiet time, and no unneeded stimulation and thoughtfulness. So for me, that's the dogs are part of the nurturing aspect of and the like it's like the comfort and so on and so forth. The plants is more mindfulness and it's being responsible. So same thing with making my bed. So it's structure. It's like and it's caring for something else. I found that between having pets and having plants, caring for something else helps set routines and makes you responsible and makes you disciplined. Where you would
Yeah.
left to your own take care of yourself. But if you have to take care of other things, then it's easier to also take care of yourself because you're responsible for a living thing.
That's true. I have the bad habit of checking my phone right after I get up, which is really bad. And I need to stop doing that because then I'll be distracted for like 10 to 15 minutes, like right after I wake up, which is just
I
not good at
avoid my
all.
phone for as long as possible when I wake up. That's part of this
Yeah.
routine. Part of this routine is aside from because the thing is, since my phone and then I have two alarms and they go off at the same time, and I have alarms in case I
Why?
sleep longer than I should. Yes, because my phone is usually near
Wait,
me when I sleep, and then I have an
yeah.
alarm. My YouTube subscriber counter also is an alarm clock. And so it forces
Oh,
me to get out of my bed, come out here to the office, and turn off the alarm clock, which makes it hard to just go back to sleep
that's a good
or go back
idea.
to bed. So like it forces me to to deal with it.
Yeah. There, I had a friend who in high school had this alarm that would roll around on the floor. So to like
Uh,
turn it off, you had to get up and chase it for a little
nice.
bit, which was like the best thing ever, but very annoying also.
Yeah. Now my rule is no matter what, I get 6 to 8 hours of sleep because what they found is more than 8 hours you build too much lactic acid in your body. Less than 6 hours you didn't get enough to regenerate your cells. So um, I always sleep 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah,
And
I
anytime
agree with that.
I've and during the day, and believe it or not, during the day I take a nap.
That's good. I mean, 20-minute
Yeah.
naps are great. Anything over 20
Mhm.
minutes is not, I mean, at least for me, like after 20 minutes, it turns into way too long of a nap. So I need to like
I
stop
take
after
anywhere from
20.
20 minutes to an hour for me. It just depends on what's going on, or it depends on what my body says. Hey, you need to stop. Like, you know,
Yeah. Oh, I got the
if I have something brain intensive, if I have something really intense to do during the day, having a fresh nap for up to an hour before I have to do that's actually really healthy for me.
that's good. Yeah, naps
But
are
what did you
like,
say? What were you saying?
no, I'm going completely off topic, but it's just sitting
No,
on
you're
my
fine.
desk. That's why I thought of it. But I got the Switch Pod ball head today in the mail.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of cool.
I
Because I've
was
been
one.
waiting for it.
I was one of the first ones they shipped out because
Oh, really?
Pat and Caleb are homies of mine, and I was very super supportive of the SwitchPod. I was there for the prototype. I was one of the first people they ever showed the prototype. I gave them commentary on the slipperiness side of things, and I was one of the first people to say that a ball head accessory would be the best follow-up product.
Did you like it? Do you
I
like
love
their?
it.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's,
I
I
love
mean,
it.
I haven't used it yet, the ball
It's
head
solid.
specifically, but
I have. It's
I
solid.
think it's cool. I'm excited to use it. Finally, I can get angles when I set up the camera. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I've never had like
Yeah.
a Joby or anything,
I
so
have.
this
They're
will be
they're
my
they're
first.
good, and I love them as a company. They do great with influencers. They support content creators. They do great,
Yeah.
and they sponsor a lot of our homies. But the thing with Joby is because of the bendy parts, it breathes
And
after a period of
smash.
time from the weight, and it can just you know.
I think after watching some of Casey's videos, I have nightmares now. Like when his camera just fell over and he doesn't really care that much because
Because he has
he
like
thinks
8 of them.
he's yeah.
Um,
Like my soul hurts right now. That poor
yes.
camera.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh my God.
devastating. Like, oh dear God, why? Oh dear God in heaven, why? Like, every
Yeah.
time, man. Um,
Someone says 1 hour easily
now
turns into
something
2 hours. That's so
I'm
true.
gonna live with this because it's just that I put this video out at the worst time of day to put this video out. But like,
You
what
just publish
should
one?
hurt my soul? Well, my new video, my latest video, it should hurt my soul how badly this video is underperforming. It is the worst of the last 10 videos I've put out, and it's getting about 50% of the views I would normally get when I upload a video. But I also
Oof.
did upload it at 8 something at night. When a good portion of my audience is kind of done with their viewing for the day, even though there are videos on YouTube that will get views tonight and stuff like that. But it hurts because like this is a really good video. It's a really good topic. I did go
Hmm.
through the trouble of editing it a bit more just because even though it's a good topic, it's not for everybody, and there are parts of it, storytelling wise, that might feel slightly drawn. Some B-roll. I put in some story blocks B-roll. Um,
Ooh.
I put in quite a bit. There's like one or two pieces of B-roll for almost every minute of footage there is. Um, and
Oh
so
my goodness.
yeah, so that's quite a bit of editing, you know, but for especially for a talking head video because it's like it's about how I got started investing and the best investments I made, which is like obviously the best investment you'll make is in yourself. And I talk about that. I talk about, hey, if you have $100, best things to invest in are books, learning experiences, networking events, like real talk, like things that better you are
Yeah.
the best investments. And if you want to get into stocks, I gave them the info on how to get free stocks so that you can get educated about it because then you can see at no risk how things are doing and then say, okay, I'm going to put a little bit of money here. I'm going to put a little bit of money here. So I gave them all the links to all the free stocks. And I'm going to do a dedicated video about that at some point. But I also expect this video to underperform because it's a different topic than I normally do, and it's a get your feet wet topic, and it's a story to like, hey, me talking about what I've learned versus something instructional that most of my audience signed up for. But they have asked me about this, and so far,
Hmm.
everyone who's watched the video, the comments are that people like it and they like that it's different. Um,
Yeah.
so like a lot of people they're digging this one, and they love how like real it was.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and they're quoting things I said into this. So like, so I know it's objectively a good video. I know it's objectively a good video, but that has nothing to do with how it's performing.
Wait, why didn't you just post it like tomorrow
Because
morning or something?
it's been like 4 days since I uploaded a video, and tomorrow
Um,
I have another video planned that I will probably edit first thing in the morning if I don't edit like right after this.
yeah,
And it's a video that I know will absolutely perform well because it's a YouTube growth topic, which usually does well. But then I want to drop a video on Saturday um, on personal branding, and then I know that
right.
I want to edit a bunch of shit on Saturday. Because Sunday morning I have to fly out to California for Social Media Marketing World, and I have to
Mm-hmm.
roll some other videos out. So the thing is, basically, I just didn't want to go one more day without posting a video, and I'm tired of feeling because part of the reason I haven't posted all week is like I kept missing good upload windows, and so to be honest with you, Audrey, I'm tired of like
Just
feeling held
dumb.
hostage by the goddamn algorithms obsession with how many
Yeah, I
views
feel
you get
that.
in the first goddamn hour, and I'm just sick of it. And I just like, if I want to put out a video today, I don't give a shit. And I'm tired of people judging how videos perform. Videos are good even when they don't get views. So like, you know, because I kind of want to pull a like, no offense to anybody, and like, you know, sorry for the f bombs. Well, I want to pull a, like an f all y'all. I'm just gonna upload daily again, and I don't care what time I finish the fucking video.
It's so true.
Because if I just go
Uh,
ahead and upload daily and don't say and fuck the timing, I'll still get traffic on all the videos. Like, so fuck it. I'll just get traffic every day.
yeah,
Because I
that's
mean, to
really
be
good for
honest,
you.
that's how I grew my YouTube channel the first time. Is I just didn't care about how many views anything got, and I just posted every damn day because that was the deal I made with myself. Is oh, I'm gonna just post every day.
Dang. Well, was that when daily was like more of a thing or
It
like
still works. It's
a
just
better tactic?
it still works because it's not about people think that's a tactic for growth. It's a tactic for traffic, and it's a tactic for your own psychology. And it's why everyone gets me wrong about quality versus quantity is that quantity
Hmm.
just means consistency, right?
Yeah.
Quality doesn't isn't diminished by consistency if you have a system and if you have a standard that's easy enough to maintain. You know what I'm saying? Like you've seen my office and my setup. It's as long as everything is working, it's very hard to make a low quality video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in terms of what's the highest quality video I've ever made, it's hard to make a bad video. It's hard to make something that's not a 6, 7, 8, or 9, you know? Or rather,
Yeah,
actually,
you've
like
got it
screw a
down. You've got
6.
the style down.
Yeah, it's like a 7, 8, or 9. And the thing is, I'd argue the video that I did that has a million views by my standards is a 6. You know?
Why
The
is it
video I
always
have,
like that?
uh, you know,
It's so
because,
frustrating. It's
yeah,
always
so
like, I mean, not always, but it seems like this happens a lot where it's the ones where it's not the best work that always does better sometimes.
it's not,
It's
well, we
frustrating.
romanticize what the best is because what we like has
Yeah.
nothing to do with what people value. And that's why I don't even think
Oh,
quality matters as much as people thinks it does. Quality matters in terms of will someone subscribe, will somebody watch again, but only up to a point because when I say quality, people will try to make up all the excuses, but we all know damn well that every YouTuber, when we say quality, they're talking about a really good looking video that's polished or is high energy and is this and that and everything like that, or and has all these angles or has all these scenes and everything like that. We all know that when everyone we know says quality videos, they're talking about something where they feel like, yeah, I just punched television quality in the face. You know,
I mean,
that's what they mean
kind of true.
because what they're not talking about
No one
is
cares about the video quality, really. Like, I
no,
mean,
they
maybe
care
a
about
little,
whether they're
but
interested in the thing that you are doing or
yeah.
talking about, or whether they're entertained or get value out of it. So the thing that no one will say that I will say is that quality should be the experience that the viewer has. Value is what the
Hmm.
viewer wants. And the thing that's
That's
going to
really
get you
interesting way to
views,
think about
Yeah, and because that's why I don't really everyone's quality versus quantity. It's like value sits above both of those, homie. No matter how much quality or quantity you do, you're not gonna get me to watch something I don't give a shit about. So I'm
Yeah.
out. Like, that's
True.
true. So value and what your desired audience or existing audience values is the barrier to views. Quality doesn't get views because we have no idea what the quality is when we click the button. We have no idea what the quality is going to be. We know is we value this thing, we're interested in this thing, we're curious about this thing caught our attention. So that's all that matters for getting views. Getting subscribers could theoretically be about quality, but it wouldn't be production quality because even if you look at like all the things that grow fast, if you look at drama channels, gaming channels, even challenge videos, that has nothing really to do with quality. It has to do with personality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like it's a lot like simpler in many ways, and I think the creator thinks it is. I don't
Almost
know.
every one of the
Like,
biggest YouTubers is a personality driven creator.
yeah. Yep. Even people were, like Peter, for example, where he was a tutorial. I'm not gonna say tutorial channel. It
He
was
was an
mostly based on tutorials at first.
it was an education
Um,
channel. You can
but
say that.
it's personality based. Like
Yeah.
it's partially because of his, or mainly because of his personality as to why he like grew so much, or
Yeah.
people are so dedicated and stuff. Because you don't want to
Exactly
watch
so.
someone boring explain stuff, even
That
if
was
it's
the
really good
difference.
explanation.
Yeah, I started making people excited about what I was excited about, or at least fascinated by my ability to explain it in simple terms.
Yeah,
But my personality has never been the singular driving force for my channel. That's where, if I'm going to get to 1 million subscribers, it would be, you know, that
yeah,
would be the thing that has to change. Is my personality would have to be able to start attracting more people. But the thing is, that means that people who would like my style of personality either have to find me through the topic, or someone has to share it, or I have to get traction somewhere. And the thing is, I can wait, Audrey, because the thing is, Gary V, like, I was there, by the way. Like, it took Gary V 9 years to get to 30,000 subscribers, and I was there.
like that's crazy.
Huh?
Like no
But
one
think
thinks
about it.
about that.
His personality isn't for everybody, though, right? I mean, you've seen it. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't like him. Like, it
a
was
lot of
when
people do
and a lot of
now,
people do
anyway.
now. But you know what happened?
Yeah.
Partly, well, let me tell you. Let me turn off the heat, and I'll tell you one thing. Because now it's actually warm. It was cold, and now it's warm. That always happens. Um, so what happened was when Gary stopped just being like the business guy and this aggressive, loud guy, because like his business community stayed insular for like even 2 years, where he did the Ask Gary V show and activated his other social media following and got stuff because of guest and Casey and stuff like that. He got to like
Hmm.
200K after 11 years of doing this. He got to 200, 300K, right? Um, there was a point where me and Sarah Dici thought we could grow bigger than Gary, and then he was like, "Nope," you know,
That's crazy.
because we almost beat him to 100. Sarah were racing to who can beat Gary V to 100K, and then we lost. Uh, and yeah,
And now he's like,
and now he's like, "Ooh," and me and like Sarah have like friendly like jockeyed positions, and now she's just like totally but who knows? I mean, just like, you know. So the thing is with
friendly
growing
competition.
subscribers is people don't realize that to get subscribers you need views, so you need traffic, you need traction. That's topic driven, but
Yeah,
that topics don't convert to subscribers. Personality, and if you don't have the kind of personality where you were wildly popular in school, and not every school is popular on YouTube, and a lot of people who are nerds and introverts YouTube or whatever, but you have to remember that was easier when YouTube was populated only by other nerds and creative and artsy types and misfits, which was until YouTube became mainstream. That was the gimmick. Was it was another corner of the internet. I mean, the internet was just for intelligent people and technical people and eclectic people. The internet was for nerds. It's like you nerds on the internet. Like, it wasn't for normies. It wasn't for those type of people. You used to get made fun of for being into computers, right? So there's that time period where that was true, but now it's part of everyone's lives, so now it's mainstream. So now mainstream things are working. Whereas but by that time, the biggest personalities in YouTube had now become celebrities of the platform. So by the time that people come here, well, this person's already a big deal and everyone here is already talking about them. So then the normies just went along with it and then decided, oh, I actually like this person. But they would have never given that person the time of day in high school. They would have never given that person the time of day if they weren't internet famous.
Yeah. I still think like now there's, but I feel like now there's still a lot of people who, I don't know, it's like, it's almost like cool to kind of be more like, I don't want to say weird, but
yeah, it is cool to be weird. It is cool to be, because again, because
cool.
everything else is boring. It's boring to not be like, you know, and that's why, I mean, it's just the truth, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I think that in the long run, the things that I'm always I'm always early to things. In the long run, my type of content will become popularized in the way that in the long run, Gary Vee became popularized. But Gary Vee also pivoted to something more mainstream and more broad, which was he pivoted to things that are very, instead of all, he was business, social media, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he broadened into conversations about happiness and keeping up with the Joneses and mental health and self-awareness, and he's now considered a motivational and personal development guru. He's called a motivational speaker. He's a businessman. He's a mogul. He's an investor, and now we're calling him a motivational speaker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I didn't know about Gary until probably like last year. So I remember my first impression was like, oh, he's a motivational speaker. Like I didn't even know about the business side. I first found out about him.
People find out about you in the context of what they care about, and Gary understands that. And so the value systems that he's always talked about, the things he's always talked about them, but he didn't prioritize them or package himself that way. It was always packaged. I'm a businessman, but I am deeply empathetic and care about these things in human behavior and these things in our society. And here's how I grew up, and here's why that's helped me. And you know, here's how you deal with a chip on your shoulder or your insecurities. And he's always had that and always talked about it, but it was packaged in the realm of the business world. And so then he just flipped the script on the packaging, and then you find out that he is a businessman. And so he's not leading with the thing, because that was about, he was prideful and proud of being a businessman. And that was the package in the vehicle. But that has limited reach because less than 1% of people decide to go into business or entrepreneurship or any of that. Most people don't create content on social media, they consume it, you know, disproportionately. We're like the 1% in that way of like 99% of the people watch content. We're the 1% that makes it, you know? So in that way, we are a 1%, which is pretty dope when you think about it like that. But what that means, wait, Audrey, you still there? You froze. Audrey, are you there? I'm still here, guys. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys in the chat see us, or what's going on? Let me figure out what's going on. I'm gonna tweet Audrey. Hey, you're frozen. I'm still here. I think Audrey will be back, so the show must go on.
Hello? Oh my god.
Okay, there we go.
Where did I go?
Where did we lose you? What was I saying when we lost? What was I saying when we lost you?
I just panicked. I don't know what happened.
You're all good. I mean, that happens sometimes.
I think my Wi-Fi just cut out or something.
You're all good. Stopped. You're back now.
Okay.
All right.
I
So
just went quiet.
okay, I think what I was saying
Uh-huh.
was I was talking about personalities, and so okay, so like
You're
people
talking about
consume
Gary.
us, yeah, and people Gary and personalities, people consume us in the context of what they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gary wanted to be acknowledged and known as a businessman. Once he got past that, he was like, I have all this value that could help anybody, even if they don't want to be an entrepreneur. And so he decided to package in a more broad and general way, and then he exploded because he'd been successful and rich and covered in magazines and in mainstream television and newspaper articles for years and years and years, and it didn't translate
Yep.
to his personal brand being bigger. It was bigger money and business success, but his personal brand and the awareness of him wasn't growing, even with being a four-time best-selling author. So then, when he flipped the script on people, especially after people started bashing him in the media and everything like that, and making him the face of marketing bro culture and toxic productivity and shit like that, that has nothing to do with what he believes in. He started
Yeah.
packaging against what he believes in a way that people could understand, so that if they didn't have context on him, they'd start to give him more benefit of the doubt and see how empathetic and thoughtful he is. And it changed everything. And I understand this partly because over the years, being 7 years on YouTube, I was the tutorial guy until I wasn't. Because I was the Photoshop tutorial guy until I wasn't. So I was the Photoshop guy. Then I was the how-to guy.
I
Then I
didn't know
was
you made
the
Photoshop tutorial videos.
that was how my channel started. Yeah. So I was like,
That's fun.
I was the Photoshop guy until I wasn't. I was the graphic design guy until I wasn't. I was the how-to guy until I wasn't. Right now, people think I'm the YouTube guy. And one day they will acknowledge that I'm actually the creative entrepreneur, because I think 2020 is the beginning of being a creative entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur who is a creator will be, over the next 5 years, what I become known for. And people will accept the idea of creative entrepreneurship because people who use these content platforms and people who are makers will accept the responsibility that they are a direct to consumer brand and that they actually have a business. They don't have social media, they have a business. They accidentally walked into the jungle that is entrepreneurship, and I'm going to make them own it and start treating their stuff like a business instead of a paid hobby. I'm going to make them acknowledge that they're CEOs and CMOs and that they need to act accordingly. You know, they're CEOs and CMOs, they're chief marketing officers and chief executive officers that have a strong personal brand and a deep relationship with their consumer, but they are a direct to consumer business. Like you and I are direct to consumer businesses. We deliver our value directly to the market without the middleman of a corporation, called a job.
Yeah.
You know, it's make it, take it. So like that's where we're at.
Yeah.
But
So
I
how are
won't
you?
be acknowledged for that until I think 3 to 5 years from now.
Okay. Wait, so
The
how
same Gary Vee timeline.
same Gary that one.
Yeah, because I'm
Do you
ahead
have
of that
any like
timeline.
big things you're gonna pivot on then with
Well,
your
right
channel and
now
stuff?
I'm already doing it in a couple of ways. Like so for me, good question by the way. Like so for me, I've decided that the easiest three buckets of understanding my content and the easiest three buckets for me to make content in are
Mm-hmm.
create, grow, and earn. Create, grow, and earn, which I think is the entire foundation of how creative entrepreneurs work. Is we create something that we find value and meaning in, we grow the awareness and reach and traffic around it, and then we monetize it. And if
Yeah.
you boil down everything that we do, it is simple as fuck, Audrey. It is literally we create stuff, we grow it, and we hopefully earn from it. And if we focus on
Hopefully.
how we accomplish
Sorry.
those goals, well, I mean, it's like this: create things and improve the quality of them, right? Improve the consistency of them, improve our effectiveness, improve our ability to create them with maybe less time or less sacrifice or less expense financially. So the efficiency, the creative process is, if we focus on these three things, is can we create effectively? Can we create in a way that respects our time and our lifestyle? Can we create
Mm-hmm.
with the budget that we have, the tools and resources that we have? Like, how can we do more, do better with less time or the appropriate amount of time? Where's the balance in that? Like, if we really think about our creative process, Like that's the foundation of it, right? Then the next thing is, well, okay, I'm creating cool shit. How do I grow it? Well, that's the part that then becomes like marketing and becomes the technician, and you start have to thinking about traffic. You have to start thinking about traffic, but you also have to think about community, and you have to think about the strategy behind what you created and who it's valuable to. And so you have to start also saying to yourself, when am I creating for the sake of creating, and when I'm creating for the sake of growing, and when am I creating for the sake of earning? You know, and you have to make your peace with that.
Oh my God. Yeah. I definitely have
Like,
not figured that out yet.
but the thing is, have you even acknowledged that that's the thing that you have to start doing? Like, that you have to, like, am I creating to create?
I
Am
feel
I
like I'm
creating to
still
grow?
stubborn on that one. Like
In
I'm
what way?
still trying to figure out a way to combine all of them, like all the time. You know, like I literally
See,
was
that's the
talking about
thing.
this
You
the other
can't.
day with someone.
It's an unreasonable. Well, the thing is, the reason I say you can't
Why not?
is it's not a challenge of your ability. It's a challenge of what's fair to you, in the sense that that's a lot, and it's complicated, and it's rarely been done. If you think about it, it's rarely
Yeah.
been done, and it's done usually after a good number of years of not doing everything at once. Doing everything at once is always an unreasonable request, because if you were in somebody else's employ, if you were an employee and they asked you to make something that can do all three things, you would give them shit about that and say it's like that's kind of an unreasonable or unfair request.
True. Yeah.
If a
Someone,
client told
Connor,
you, go ahead.
no, sorry, I was gonna say Connor wrote like one for me, one for them. And I was literally talking about this with
Up
someone
to
the
a
other day.
point.
It's like, I don't agree with that, Steve. And I know that's
It
like
won't.
Sarah's
It's
motto and
not for
stuff.
you. No, but it's
I'm,
well, Scorsese's first. It was Martin Scorsese's first,
okay.
and then I introduced it to Sarah, and then she became known for it. And but it goes to
Like,
the great filmmaker Martin Scorsese.
no, but I was literally talking to a friend about this. It's like, I want them to be all for me and all for them. Like that's literally what I
Mm.
told them. But it's hard to do
Well,
that. I haven't figured
so
it out yet, obviously.
so
It's possible.
there's a different philosophy that you could approach this with. It might be the better philosophy for you.
Okay.
One for all.
Ooh. Wait, how is that different from
Oh, it's vastly different.
one for me is the same as one, I don't know what I said earlier.
So
What
here's
I
the
said
thing.
something
What
different from
like
that.
instead of one for me, one for them, which is kind
Yeah.
of like in a way divisive. One
Yeah.
for all is a different philosophy. One for all is the philosophy of making something for all the people like you.
Ooh. Okay. But I don't know. I'm still kind of confused. How is
Well, ask me your question about it, because I have a place there in my head I'm going with that, but I want to hear your thoughts, because it's like I need to
um,
lead you to this answer. I can't just
um,
give it to you.
um the thing with one for all though, like I think the one of the core things of like specifically what I do is I try to make content for people like me, but there's still so I like try to base it around my interests because I'm hoping that or people like me would probably be interested in the same things as I'm
But
interested in.
who are
But then it's
people
hard.
like you? But who are people like you?
Um, well, I would just say like aspiring creators who are like
Right. But now
getting into numbers.
if you embrace if you embrace one for all, you have to start
Hmm.
thinking about the qualities of, all right, because you have growth goals. Okay?
Yeah.
So if we think of one for all as partly balancing making something for yourself with making something that also can grow you, with the understanding that, okay, because you are also brand friendly, you probably don't have to worry about how that earns, because that will just be, a consequence. So the
Family
way
friendly.
that, huh?
Sorry. I
What was
said
that?
sorry, my mom just walked in. She's
Oh, all
very
good.
confused.
Yeah. So since we know, okay, if you get enough traction, usually there's a way to make money on that. So we'll just focus on the first two things, right? So what
Yeah.
is creatively satisfying for me, but other people will enjoy? instead of going, oh, well, one for me, one for them,
Yeah.
it's one for all. And so it's now you have to think about the components of what grows a YouTube channel. The components of what grows a YouTube channel is the initial filter of people being interested in something, but then also the shareability is one of the pillars of like, okay, for people who don't know me, but then like so there's discoverability, people finding this because of the interest in the topic, YouTube also identifying people and distributing it to viewers who might be interested. So
Yeah.
think about the things that you like, easiest for people to understand and recognize and be attracted to. And then think about in the making of this thing, how quickly can you get to a moment that is wildly entertaining and brings out your real personality that is worth sharing, aka a memeable moment. Can you put a memeable moment in the first X amount of the video, the middle of the video, and right before the last third of the video, so that you can keep people's interest and also have multiple points where it would be worth sharing the video just for the meme. Like that is understanding your audience, because you're at an age and you're in a place where like meme culture is strong, like the memes are strong with this one, like so like the
Yeah.
so like there's a shareable quality to it. Okay, the
Yeah.
other aspects of it is when you mention, incorporate, or highlight the type of people that you're interested in and why that worked for you. Dan Mace, Matt Diavella, those things, worked.
Yeah.
And
I don't
and the
even
thing
know.
is, you have time, but there's times when you are motivated to do it. You don't have to make it so much a strategy as so much, because part of the reason I think it worked for you is you did it because you enjoyed it and it wasn't as strategic. I think that for
Yeah.
you and also for your personality, there are things where it's okay for you to be strategic, but you will benefit the most from just more massive self-awareness and more massive self-awareness, and then just being, your strategy is to have a conviction in your creativity and trust the instinct and the spirit of what you think is interesting, and you will attract people who also believe that's interesting.
Literally today I was on YouTube and I saw someone did a video idea that I had like 2 months ago, and it's
Mm-hmm.
blowing up right now. And I was so mad. It was like I literally started filming it. I just didn't go through with it because I don't know, I didn't like it enough to
You
go
didn't
through with it.
trust it. You didn't trust yourself. You became
Yeah.
insecure about it. You
And
became
literally
insecure.
someone made it today and I'm like, I hate when that
You
happens.
should
It's
have
so
trusted
frustrating.
should have trusted your instincts. Like, see, it's the same. It's like I don't always trust my instincts either, like Audrey. But like when I do the videos, some of the videos that have done the best for me, literally the videos that have done the best for me, are the videos where I trusted my instincts and when I also did the least amount of effort and I just spoke my authentic truths, because those are things that people shared because they related to it and because they
Yeah.
were like, this guy's the real deal and he's not like working me over. He's just like telling it how it is, and they like that.
Yeah.
That was me telling
I
my
think
story.
Yeah, I think that's hard to remember though. Like all because like as creative artsy people, it's like I want to make the best product possible, and then you get in your head about like all the
Now
little
for
details
me,
that people don't really care about.
being artsy now is the thumbnail. It's me going back to my roots as a digital artist and graphic designer and just going baller on the thumbnail. And you see, that's what I've been doing, is this, like, to the point to where the comments half the time are about my thumbnail and about, oh, well, like, even when it doesn't get views and clicks when you would think, it's like, but I'm getting the comments. It's like, damn, that's a baller thumbnail. Like,
Like that
that's,
thumbnail though. It's awesome.
yeah,
I don't
that
know. I
thumbnail
can't bring
though
myself
is
to
like one
do
of
it
my
though.
favorites. How so?
Yes. See, look, Nick commented Peter just did a 5 minute, and I thought of I did do a very similar. Well, not exactly. I asked people on Fiverr to like edit a photo of mine, and Peter just released a video today on the same topic, and I was like,
Make the video anyway. See, one of your other insecurities, is you refuse to capitalize on a good idea.
yeah.
A proven
I
good idea.
It's maybe true.
Because guess what I'm gonna
Um,
do probably I'm gonna probably make a video about Fiverr just to capitalize on the fact that Peter just made Fiverr more interesting to people, so the YouTube algorithm knows that people are interested in Fiverr, and now I'm probably gonna make a video about Fiverr and put it out this weekend
Yeah.
to capitalize on the algorithm and capitalize on Peter's traffic and to get all that sweet suggested traffic. And I don't care if it's an original idea.
Well, yeah, no, that's
I might
definitely
even
something
literally, you know what I
might
can do to
do.
siphon attention? I literally can just do it. I'll just do a reaction video to Peter's damn video or a response video. I'm not
As a
even
graphic
joking with
designer,
you.
you could actually do that. That'd be pretty interesting, probably. You could do the same. Oh
Exactly.
my God, you could do the same picture and like, because he basically tried to get people to like edit this photo for him, and like put a mountain in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just do better. I mean, it doesn't really have to do with your channel, but I'm just throwing out stuff. That would just be fun.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
I,
It's a good video idea though if someone
type of
wants to steal that.
wait.
You're cutting out. Or am I cutting out?
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna look up this video because I paid Photoshop experts to edit this to edit this photo better than me. Okay, I'm gonna get in on that. I'm gonna get in.
You could just edit the photo way better than the people in the video. That'd be really funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna get in on this. Um, but um, but yeah. Um, there's
Yeah.
I don't and I don't I'm gonna if people are like, oh, Peter McKinnon did this first, it's like yeah, should I have texted him and asked his permission before I made the video?
Yeah. I mean that's just kind of how YouTube
just
works.
to flex on the damn commenters. It's like, yeah, do I so next time I want to make a video with that Peter made, should I text him and get his permission first? Like literally just to flex on the comments, or like if I need to make about a video about that, it's like I could literally just turn it into a collab. It's like, hey Peter, do you care if I
You guys
copy
have
your
fake drama.
video? Huh?
You guys could just make this into a whole fake drama thing and like have a feud, even though both of you don't care.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
And yeah,
there's a strategy right there.
Right? Like
the fake
yeah
drama.
fake, exactly. By the way, for anyone I saw a couple cute comments. Thank you, Connor, about Roberto University. It's like you guys can learn from me for free, $0 on my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel is University, but paid Roberto University is awesomecreatoracademy.com if you guys want to check that out. And I'm not kidding. I am just going to go ahead and plug my business. I do a coaching business. I have some affordable entry-level products and courses. The Formula for Awesome Videos course, which we're actually updating for 2020. So you're going to get all the free updates here after I get back from social media marketing world. So we're doing massive updates. It's going to help you not only just make better quality content, but have a better system for making your content. Because the thing that I'm obsessed with now, Audrey, is common sense content creation. None of the I'm realizing that me and all of the how to make creator stuff, I feel like every single one of us in the education space are all guilty of not acknowledging that people are full-time employees, full-time students, full-time parents, right? And that means limited energy, limited time, limited resources to create. And so I feel, and this is why I stopped saying, because I had to stop saying quality over quantity as I started acknowledging this. That's unrealistic for most people, So again, my entry level course is covering how do you find time to make your videos? How do you get a quiet area? How do you script your videos? How do you do the research? How do you maximize the time? How do you do more with less? How long should you spend editing? Those kind of things, right? I'm trying to reduce and streamline the process and tell people how to do little time saving hacks because I'm the productivity guy when it comes to this process. Everybody's spending 9 and 10 hours on videos, and I'm spending 1 to 3 hours on videos. They get the same amount of views as people putting 12 hours into.
I wish. Oh my god!
Did you see Swoop's new video?
On video.
Did you say Swoop's new video?
Which
So it
one?
was the video about how much she got paid for 1 million views, and then she started doing
Oh,
the
I didn't see
hourly
that.
wage calculation on how much money she made from YouTube versus how much time she spent making the video, and she realized
Oh
that
my
she's
god.
making, and it's like, oh god, I'm making
I don't
below
even know
minimum
what that
wage.
is. That's
Even on videos
crazy.
with 1 million views, Swoop is
That's
like,
insane.
I'm videos with 1 million views, and I'm making below minimum wage. What did I do wrong in life? Like, and she actually did a comparison to like my video on how much money I make for similar views, and she's like, "Oh dear God!" And then she did a thing where she texted me like, "Roberta, how much time do you spend on making your videos?" And then it's
Oh
like,
my
and she's like,
god.
"God damn it, Roberta!"
You've just optimized it so much. Oh my god. But that doesn't like
And
work for our like swoops type of content or something. Cause
it can, it can, but it's hard to get there quickly. But the thing is, it can. Because I actually helped, and part of it would be, and the thing that Sarah figured out was Sarah figured out that for her, the version of doing things more quickly was having a team so that she could up quality to the standards that she wants to take it even further, and consistency, quantity,
yeah.
you know? But for her, that meant thankfully she was in a position of making the kind of money that would allow her to hire a team and scale, and then also now run another business. Um,
Yeah.
so, and do all the things lifestyle wise that she wants and not feel overwhelmed anymore, you know? So,
Yeah.
she's on that, delegation station now, which is dope.
Delegation
Uh,
station. That's
yeah,
like the
all about
next
it.
that's like the next level that most people
That is
can't
next level. So
do that.
realistically, I know most people can't do that. So my
Yeah.
version of it was here is in some ways the answer. I've made my quality I've made my quality very simple.
Hmm.
Production values are about, for me, I reduce editing and I go for high production in terms of camera quality. I mean, primary example, like it, where live streaming diminishes it some, but it's like I've got good lights and I've got even a DSLR for the live streams. I just literally throw equipment and specific tools and camera lenses at the quality aspect of production and good audio and lighting. Like I go with that. Lights, camera, microphone, that ups the aesthetic value, and my set design
Yeah.
ups the aesthetic value. Okay, so the thing looks good
Yeah.
and sounds good. So that's number one. Now, what most people do to make their stuff more interesting is they use editing tricks and they use scene changes and those things for pattern interrupts. I just use my public speaking skills to carry my content. So I'm using charisma and confidence to carry my content, and I'm using the TED Talk and podcast format, but that's the style of video that I'm making. Tutorials, I basically do the tutorial in one take, and if I want to break it up to be more like how Peter does tutorials, the thing is I can simplify that process too, because the actual screen recording of the tutorial is a 30-minute to 1 hour or less process to do all of that because it's in real time, so it's not a lot. So the thing is possible for the screen recording. That's the bulk of the content. The rest of the shots are B-roll and storytelling things and aspects, and A-roll. That can also be reduced to about an hour of that, and then the rest is, and then editing that, there's no need for motion graphics and bells and whistles. Editing that is just stages and timing. Planning reduces, when you plan something, it reduces the time to execute it. And most YouTubers do on the fly and in the
Yep.
moment and get
I
inspired.
was about
But the
to
thing is,
say.
planning cuts your time to half or a third of what it would have been, because executing to a roadmap is always faster. And that's why
Yeah.
even when you work a 9 to 5 job, you are task driven. It's do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I think my time in corporate America benefited me as a creative entrepreneur because I understand the value of having a to-do list, and I understand the value of having structure and having
Yeah.
do this, do this, do this, and the value of a process. In corporate America, anything you do, there's a process, and if you had to invent a process, it's now written down, standardized, and passed on to everyone else, and you always do it that way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Color
that's the
grading
huge difference.
color grading for me, because I have literally 5 sets in this room, and then I have a general thing for my outdoor lighting conditions regardless of where I am. I know what overcast or sunny 16 is. My color grading is push button. I have my own programmed presets. I made my own preset packs. I spend no time color grading. None.
Oh my god. This
It's
is
two
like the
minutes.
complete opposite of what I do. It takes so long for like one video, which is a problem. Like I need to get more efficient with it. But I'll be filming, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and then it adds like another, I don't know how
But the thing
long.
is, just like how I talked about, here are all the things that are like the barriers to views in YouTube. Here are all the things. It's like, okay, here's views, here's discoverability, here's shares, blah blah blah. I think about the layers of making video, which is the production is a layer, sound
Hmm.
design is a layer, um, their graphical elements is a layer,
Yeah,
and audio processing is a layer, and color grading is a layer. So
yeah.
so I've systemized the layers. I audio processing my audio takes less than 5 minutes, Audrey. Processing my audio because why? I have
Can't relate.
presets in Adobe Audition. Right click in Adobe Audition, then press my presets. All of my
Yeah,
A roll is done.
I know, but like I have to, change the music. I have like five different
So
songs in a
so
video,
that's
and
sound
like,
design. You do that last.
yeah.
Your editing process could because
Well,
so the thing is I do first thing
not
first.
really.
I
Yeah.
do first thing first in terms of I take my A roll, I edit out, I process the audio of that so the audio is clean for me talking. So I know that
Okay.
okay, that's good, and it's to the sound level that I need. All right. Next thing I do is I now do the rough cut, and the rough cut is I am cutting out all of the errors and dead air of the A roll.
Yeah.
And as I do that, I'm making markers and notes for B roll and inserts. So I open up Notepad and I actually either copy paste or type with one hand the timestamps of where I put the markers because I just hit M in Premiere, M,
Yeah.
wherever I need. Like I said this, I said that, and then I write out the timestamps, which now saves me time of like scrubbing through the whole video because now I made a note for myself. You see, and
Hmm.
so now I have those. I have those markers in place. I have the notes in place. I know where to drop things. Okay, cool. Now, because I made a plan for the video, I've probably already either shot my B roll or sourced my B roll. And so I have those things sitting in a folder. And now
Oh
I
my god,
could,
this is so
um,
organized. Ew.
and so now what I can do is I can put an adjustment layer over my A roll, push my
Mhm.
button, color grade my A roll. Now my B roll is going on video track 3, and I can drop that in. And if that needs any
How
adjustment or
much
color
fix
grading, I can
this?
do that.
Oh my god,
And
this
so
is like
now,
crazy. It's
but
so,
it's efficient as hell,
yeah,
right?
it's so efficient.
It's so methodical, okay?
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you have client work, the difference, see, this is the difference between jumping from working for like never working a job or working a like low level like retail job or something like that to an entrepreneurs because I worked in corporate America and then I also did freelancing. Deadlines will make you efficient because there's no paycheck at the end of the rainbow if you're late, you know? So you learn through the
Yeah.
fear and anxiety of I don't have unlimited time to do something.
True.
People become YouTubers or entrepreneurs. It's like, oh, I have unlimited time. I can make it perfect, and they don't give themselves constraints. I give myself constraints, and part of it now is because I have to run another business, and I have to do things like make an 8 o'clock deadline to do a podcast with you, unless Romina ditches us and we don't know what to do, and then we make it an hour late. Like
Yeah.
I have other things to be accountable to in life in the way that I used to be accountable to a boss. So those other things in life mean that I do not get
Yeah.
to allot unlimited time to making content. And so it forces me to have the creative constraints of being very efficient with the time and being ruthless. And I think it works out really well because look at how methodical I am in the process. So we've covered everything but sound design. So sound design, I have my A roll, I have my B roll, I have my audio processed on my A roll. Now it's time for sound design. First thing I do for sound design is I look for any the markers that I made, and I look for anywhere I need to drop in sound effects. So I drop in those, and then the last thing I do is the music that I want for the sections that I want it in, and I've made plans for that. And
That's
then that's the last part, and that's the last part, and I can spend a little bit more time on that, and then the project is done.
what? That is like that's crazy to me. But also, like you have one A-roll like sitting down shot normally of you explaining the
Even when I
topic.
don't, this process is the same because of planning. Because I've also experimented
Mm,
lately with dropping in a secondary A roll of where I went, because Graham Stephan does it too, of where maybe I went from the couch to the bookshelf and everything like that. But I've made
yeah.
plans for that. You know what I'm saying? Which means that I've made a plan, and since I've made a plan or I've made a storyboard or a storyline, it's and again, a storyboard is just bullet points really, unless you want to draw. Like it's just
Yeah.
bullet points. And so it's just a matter of making a plan for those segments. It's
Yeah.
really brief. And so the thing is, because here's the thing, Peter and Casey do the same thing without anyone knowing. 90%
Hmm.
of a Casey Neistat video is him sitting and talking directly to the camera.
Yeah.
80 to 90%. If you actually record it, because I've done this, I've checked, and I'm like, how much B roll did Casey actually use?
Calculate how much.
How much? And I did.
It's actually
And it's
pretty good.
not more than usually 10 to 20% tops. And most of it, especially the New York stuff, was him just sitting down and talking to the thing. And then he would be interrupting it on occasion with a show versus tell. But he filmed the first part all the way through. And then was filmed separately either before or after and then dropped in.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's like a skill you get better at though over time of making
A
stuff.
thousand videos did it for me. Like, but
Yeah.
but but the thing is, you don't have to make 1,000 videos. I can just teach somebody what I just taught you. Is like the planning is the thing that cuts the time into half and then down to almost nothing. And I taught this years ago, by the way, to Sarah and John, that you can film B-roll sometimes of the thing in the moment, but you could also make your own stock footage and you could plan from a storytelling aspect. And a good way to get around it is also to just use referencing a story or an event that you've already done as part of the narrative part so that you can break up the thing and it look nice.
Yeah.
So storytelling is you get to use your own pre-existing content as a flashback sequence. You get to do these kind of things. Or again, if you want to do something like cute, it only needs to be so much of the video to just get people through the video. Like it doesn't need to be this whole thing. And we know that, and we know people will sit through content because they sit through Joe Rogan, sit through the H3 podcast, they're sitting through this podcast. Like
Yeah.
people do watch long form content with no pattern interruption. We don't need TikTok ADHD driven content to be successful, because what is most of the drama videos are just someone talking to the camera and then spilling the tea and occasionally showing a screenshot.
Yeah, but that's different.
Views.
But yeah, yeah.
I get what you're saying. It's a different type of content.
Yeah.
It's a different type of content. I'm just explaining that we always like to think that making better quality content will solve all of our problems.
Yeah. When actually it's the stuff that probably is a lot more simple that people will actually watch more anyway.
But what's emotionally satisfying for us is to make a piece of art. So the way that we deal with the other problem is we package it in a way that people can understand, value, and accept. And then we make this really cool thing that when they see it, it's undeniable and they'll respect it because it's like, that's actually doper than I even thought it was going to be from the package, It's like, oh, wow, I'm shocked at and I the thing that you want is for everyone to always say this deserves more views. And then it's like, cool, if you believe that, share the damn video. And you want to make things that merit being shared.
Yeah.
Now,
I think
fanciness doesn't always do that. Sometimes it's also your person. More than anything, the people who get shares are personality.
Yeah, that's so true. I think we just get stuck up on this has to be like the most artsy, like creative thing ever every single time you make a video.
How much of that is based on stuff we want of wishing that we were the heroes that we watch? How much of that is wanting to be on the same level as the people we look up to?
I don't know. I mean, because I just like to make, I started this because I wanted to do creative stuff and use it as an outlet, but then also I want to grow it and I don't know, finding that balance is interesting.
Here's the balance, and here's one of the hacks for one for all. Like, here's one of the hacks for one for all. Like, so one
One for
video
all.
for all the people like you. One video for all the people like you. There's a couple of things. In the way that you do your title, make it clear that it's for all the people like you. Find the identity aspect of who this is for. I think that's
Okay.
something that Matt Diavella does better than most people give him credit for, is that you don't have to give a shit who Matt Diavella is. You don't have to give a shit about anything to click on that video.
That's so true. His titles
Like,
are very like to the point, and they evoke like emotion too. It's
you
always kind of like
either
a
you either value this or you don't. There's no
yeah,
halfway. See, that's what one for all is. Like, one for all is you're either all about this or you're not. You're all in or you're not. You're one of us or you're not. One for all is for all the people like us. This is made
yeah,
for us. If you're not into it, that's cool. We didn't make it for you. When people make Harry Potter content, it's for people who are into Harry Potter, not people who don't watch Harry Potter. When people
yeah.
make Star Wars content, it's not for people who don't watch Star Wars. It's one for all of the people like you. You know?
True.
When I was making graphic design content, it wasn't for non-graphic designers. It wasn't for non-creative people. It wasn't for non-Photoshop people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when I make YouTube videos, it's not for people who aren't trying to grow a YouTube channel.
What?
So the thing is, you have to define for yourself what someone like you is. Who is someone like you? And get in a mad specific way and an identity concept of this aspect of yourself. Maybe this particular video is this aspect of yourself, and so it's for everyone who shares that aspect. You know,
Yeah.
and making it accessible to them. That is for me, instead of trying to be overly clever in the titling. Because the barrier to views and growth is then the titling. You have a personality that people will, when they meet you and see your stuff, and you have content that when they see your stuff is like, yeah, I want more of this. Yeah, I want more of Audrey Ember. But the thing is,
The titles and thumbnails is not there.
right.
Like,
So a
oh my
thumbnail has
God.
to get us to stop scrolling in your phone, because most of your people are on the phone, because most people like they're on their phone. That's just how it is. And then the
Hmm.
title has to be that was made for me. That was made for me. That was made with me in mind. The first thing that we scroll to that speaks to us is the thing that gets the click.
Yeah.
And YouTube's so damn good at giving us things that we do care about that it doesn't take that long. So it's the predictability thing that I talked about.
Yeah.
So that's that's the one for all philosophy, is like, I made this one video with all the people like me in mind and nobody else. And so it's binary, and so you get the audience that you want and nobody else, however many people that is. And the good news is a lot of them won't be your subscribers to begin with. It'll be new people, which gives you the growth vertical. Gives you the
Yeah.
growth vertical. But if you're trying to attract the same type of people and you've narrowed in on one group, this is why it's hard. People don't understand when I say niche down, I'm not really talking as much about the topic as much as I'm talking about the group identity that the topics attract.
Mm. Yeah,
The
yeah, that's so true. Like, it's not really about, like, if you put yourself in the tech niche, but you could still want to make tech content that's not like, it's very limiting to be like, I'm in the tech niche, and then all you do is stick to the formula that like other people have done, when you might
Mhm.
have other interests that are related to tech, but you have like a new perspective on it or whatever. But you might be kind of branching out into this new niche or topic or
It's like, it's fine to branch out. It's not fine to say I'm just gonna, like, try and graft another tree onto
yeah,
oak. You know what I'm saying? It has to. You can't. That's what's called going against the grain. You can't go against the grain. That's unnatural. So
yeah,
naturally, people from this thing to this thing, it doesn't work. There has to be
yeah,
synergy. And that's the problem with people who say, I just want to do everything that's my personality. It's like, you have things that have no relation to each other other than you. And that's a problem if you're expecting people to understand and navigate from our friends and family's expectations of something. Like, if there's a context of this is what we're doing right now, we don't then interject something that's completely out of left field. because that's just confusing.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
like so so
True.
like so like the thing that I discovered, and it's not an overnight thing. I mean, I'm 35. It's like I had my whole life to figure this stuff out. This, and I'm always learning new stuff. The thing that I have learned to value is, remember, I'm not intentionally trying to grow as quickly as possible. I'm truly long term dedicated to one for all. I make content that I want to make because I made the channel my name. And the thing is, I have a thesis of how these things relate to each other, and you either gel with that and watch everything or you don't. You're either here for me or you're not, but you theoretically just got value from a single video, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay
Yeah.
with people just watching a single video. Other people are not, because they want to be a YouTuber. And a YouTuber, in their mind, a successful YouTuber, gets people to watch every video they make and gets active subscribers and all of those things. I didn't come to this platform to be a YouTuber. I came to this platform to be a mentor and to be a teacher and to give value to people like me who maybe don't always benefit from the traditional education system. That's a completely different mission than the mission of
Yeah.
being a successful YouTuber. Growing a subscriber base was just a consequence of my decision. There are
Yeah.
expectations of other people attached to having a subscriber count that I never fucking asked for. And so they can fuck off with what they think I should be or think I should do, because
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. I make a good amount of money, more than most people, and most people watching me, and that's not a flex or a brag. It's a shove to people are very quick to tell me how to do my thing or what I should be doing or what I should have, and they don't even have what I have. So where they get off telling me. And that's not arrogance
Yeah.
or saying, well, a good idea can come from everywhere. It's like a good idea for me and for what my life is can't come from anywhere. It's going to come from me. Or it's going to come from a
Yeah.
mentor who has what I want already. It's not going to
So
come
true.
usually from someone else unless they know me and have context, because you can give me advice that's valuable because you actually know me. Someone who doesn't know me and doesn't have what I want really usually can't give me value.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so important to remember when there's so many trolls who try and tell you what you should do when they have no clue what's
Sometimes
going
it's
on.
not even trolls, though. Sometimes it's people who think that they're giving helpful, constructive criticism. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's impossible. And most people aren't good at constructive criticism because they don't know how to give accurate, actionable advice. But the thing is, they'll give criticism without asking a question first.
Yeah.
Remember that whenever I'm talking to you about anything, I just ask you a bunch of questions first?
Yeah. You're like trying to figure out what I'm gonna or where I'm at before you start answering, I guess.
Like it, and I think is I try to as much as possible allow for that. The downside is because I have life experience and I'm older than you, and I understand some of your psychology, and there's things that I relate to on you, and you remind me in many cases of my sisters. It's like I can somewhat predict those things, but I shouldn't just give you all of it. I should help you walk your own way to that conclusion, and then I should explain the lesson,
Yeah.
because otherwise the value of it doesn't become yours if I do it any other way, which is the hard thing even in YouTube. Is people don't realize that I can give you step by steps, and I give step by steps, and I do this, but my main objective is I should get you to think. I should get you to think critically. I should get you to explore. I should make you curious, and I should get you to read books, and I should get you to do other things, and then come back to me and tell me how they worked out, because that is
Yeah.
how you will make the knowledge your own. I can't just hand it to you and it have the same value. The value will be dramatically diminished if you don't come by the experience honestly.
Yeah. That's so true. I hadn't really thought about it like that before, but that makes so much sense. Because then, otherwise, if you just said stuff, I might even just forget. Or, like, if someone's watching your videos, but they don't actually take the time to apply it themselves, then it's useless, I guess.
And that's why I'm going to actually even start a trend of challenging my audience and making my audience do challenges every month that are creative exercises, and having them post videos and do hashtags, because then they'll see
Roberto
themselves and see.
challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing these awesome creator challenges. Like, these awesome creator challenges are going to be that I put my community through maybe multiple times a month to have them try and get results. And then they'll also be able to use these hashtags to see the rest of people in the community doing things and getting results, and then maybe even communicate with each other in like my Discord server or on the Reddit post or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They are seeing the work being done. They are challenging themselves to do work, and so that also they feel, well, Roberto's watching. Like to some extent, that will, for some, that'll motivate them of like, Roberto's watching, so like I'm gonna really go hard. I'm gonna step up, and maybe they'll think that maybe I'll get a shout out, or maybe I'll get acknowledged, or if nothing else, he'll put me in the playlist for the challenge, and maybe something happens from that. So they'll it's the carrot, it's the thing that I can dangle for them that will make them really try hard. Because sometimes we won't try hard for ourselves, but we'll try hard if we think other people are watching or might watch.
Just having a prompt can help people like take the first step too, because they might not know like where to start. So giving them a challenge is like an excuse to, I don't know, have a plan
to
or
actually do something or to be
thoughtful.
Do
something. Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
I mean, so it also increases if I actually make people do things and they actually physically do things. There's a more chance that every time they see a video from me, they actively will click on it because they have an actual visceral memory attached to me playing a role in their life actively. And I feel like that's even oddly some of the success of Peter, because I think Peter got people excited to pick up a camera, is what I keep saying. Is I think that all of Peter McKinnon's success is that for all the photography channels that already existed in YouTube, Peter's the one that makes people excited to pick up a camera and doesn't make them feel ashamed of what they can and can't do.
Yeah, that's so true. Didn't he used to do challenges too?
A little bit.
Well, the B-roll challenge that I did.
Exactly so.
What did he do?
He did that. Awesome. He did Instagram grid. He did the Instagram grid.
He did. Yeah, he did more, though, so
another type of B-roll challenge. Yeah. And so,
yeah.
I mean...
those work so well. You get excited about them. And again, people need like a motive to actually get out and do stuff. Otherwise, it might just not work. What was that typing? Oh my god.
Oh, I had to reply to a certain comment. There was I have a mechanical keyboard. It's the best thing for your for everything. But like it's not the best thing for your audio though. But I had to reply to someone because of my investment video. He says, I just think it's hilarious you made this video just as the stock market got set back a full year because of the outbreak. Just funny timing. And I typed, LOL, best time to buy. And which is true. Which is true. Like right now, this might be the best time to buy. Not official financial advice, everybody, but this might be the best time to buy stocks. Because, I'm looking at that kind of stuff. But like, to your point, I think challenges are really good for active getting new people, because they're like those people, as they do things, people are like, what inspired you to do that? Or, oh, who's the Roberto Blake guy who inspired you to do that? It creates word of mouth. It creates people evangelizing for you. It creates response loops. It's like one of the times I grew the most was when I challenged other content creators to talk experiences with burnout. You remember that like there was this whole slew of small YouTubers making burnout videos and responding to me because I responded to Casey's video about burnout and talking about L Mills. Yeah. I don't even think I got 20,000 views on that video, but like hundreds of creators made videos because of that video.
You started a trend.
A micro of a trend, but I added to an existing conversation, and now I am associated with the conversation around YouTube burnout and asking people to open up. And that was something that people remembered and thought was thoughtful on my part, and they kept watching after that. I got a lot of new subs from that, even though it didn't get the most views. Videos that get views and go viral, as you well know, don't always translate to subscribers. But videos that spoke to people at their core and wasn't just a pants things that people relate to, makes them relate to you as a human, and then they support you as a human and they subscribe. That's why I say almost all subscriber stuff is emotionally driven and personality based, but views and shares are largely the enjoyment and interest in the thing.
Yeah, so true. Okay, it's almost been an hour and a half, so maybe we should wrap this up because
We can wrap
we
up in
both
a
need
little bit, but
to.
I'd like to hear more from you because I'm like I did the Professor Roberto thing
Uh-oh.
today.
Professor
So like,
Roberto.
what are you thinking, and what
Uh,
are you thinking and feeling about all of this, and like, where's your head at, and like, yeah, like when we're both awake, like we'll talk offline about some of this stuff. Um, we're gonna hang at Podfest because you're coming to
yes,
Florida, right? Yeah,
yes. I won't be there for that long though, but yes.
yeah. All right, and then we'll hang when we both get back. Um,
Yeah.
I might be a little. I'll be there longer, but then I might actually extend my stay because I might have a client gig.
Ooh, what's what? Well, I won't ask right now live.
Yeah,
Um,
you know,
yeah,
I'll just say the quick version is like I might end up doing a workshop, a social media workshop for a hotel chain.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, so I don't know. What do you want to?
Like
What should
again,
we
where's
talk
your head at?
about?
What are you thinking? Where's your head at? What did you think about all of this? And like, how does it help you? And what are you gonna probably try and tackle next?
Um, I mean, I think the all for them thing we were talking about earlier is really
For
helpful
one,
because
sorry, one for all,
all for
one
one
for
for
all,
all.
one
Sorry,
for all, one video for
not
all,
all
like
for
one,
them.
all the
Oh my
people like me.
god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, forget that.
that
Like, no,
sounds like a recipe for disaster.
one
All for
for all.
them.
And by the way, this goes to the Three Musketeers. I don't know if you're familiar with like, you know, they used
Mhm.
to say like, all for one and one for all.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the one for all part of that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've been like trying to, because I literally was talking to someone and I was like, I don't agree with the one for me, one for them thing. Because I don't think that's,
There's more than one philosophy. Yeah, there's plenty of
yeah.
philosophy.
But then it's like, well, how do you grow if you make content that like you like, but also have to find a way to like make sure that the audience will like it as well?
It's
It's
choosing your
definitely,
audience.
yeah, that's it's figuring out the like format or I don't know. I think I'm in a weird spot right now where I just need to try more stuff and then I'll hopefully I have more of a direction than I think I do. I just need to kind of do it at this point.
I think so.
Um,
You are someone who likes to experiment, and
yes.
experimentation itself theoretically doesn't seem to gel with consistency, but it can
Hmm.
because you just have to pick aspects of consistency.
Hmm.
Now, aspects of consistency could be time of day that you upload, day of week that you upload, how often you upload. Those things can be consistent while you can experiment with the content itself. The
Yeah.
title structure could be what's consistent because you could make multiple title structures because Mr. Beast does what seems to people like random videos, but he has a method to the madness of, all right, these seem because it's 24 hours, it's last to leave, it's this. Those are specific types of videos. And then he just
Yeah.
makes them however he wants to make them. But there is some kind of set expectation, some kind of consistent element to them. Mr. Beast
Yeah.
doesn't have an upload schedule. It's whenever I make the cool shit. Like, but
Yeah.
he has a consistent way of releasing stuff because he teases and teases and he tweets and he tweets and then he drops a video and he tweets some more. He has these repeatable things that if you look for it, you can see patterns. You can see
Yeah.
like that he is doing things consistently. He shoots on the same kind of camera. That's a form of consistency. You know, he has the same people mostly in his videos. That's the same. That's like he has a way he does his thumbnails. There is consistency in being Mr. Beast, you know,
Yeah.
because human beings
True.
have consistent aspects. Just so like, don't be caught up in the idea of, oh, I have to make videos about a consistent topic. You have to just condition some type of consistency for your existing audience, and then attractive elements for people that are like you that don't know you yet, that don't know you
Yeah.
yet. But the people who know you and the people you want to attract, you have to think about what they have in common and what they like. Because and the easy part is if you're making it for people like you, it's what you like.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I don't
You
know.
liked the idea. You like the idea of experimenting with what do these other content creators do. You're going to attract people to you who like what those other content creators do. But here's the thing. You're going to attract mostly the people in their community that, like you, are also content creators trying to be like them.
Yeah. But that's
While
another thing.
also
I've been like, sorry.
while also realizing that what you really want is you want to be yourself at their level.
Yeah. But I'm also trying to like, I still want to do those, but before I was saying like, okay, I need to make at least one every month that's like really good. But I don't get these ideas all the time, and they normally stem from inspiration or something when I get really excited about
Then
it. So I
then
can't
put
rely on
yourself in a
them.
position. Then guess what? Put yourself in a position to get excited about more things, because the videos that you make when you're excited and inspired are the videos that do best. And then in between those, do videos that someone like you. So you can do your inspired, and in the meantime, you do clever, helpful videos for someone like you, but you like
Yeah.
experimenting. So when you want to help someone like you, experiment with a new technique that you think is interesting or exciting or that you've always wanted to try, and then make a tutorial about that technique. And then the fun experiment part is making one clever, here's the thing that'll keep you from being bored. Find a way to make while you're doing the thing, to make one clever, well-produced fucking meme that is worth sharing the entire video. And that then becomes your challenge.
Mhm.
Because you like
An
memes.
interesting thing. Yes.
You like memes. So like your challenge of making the thing like interesting for you that you can produce and work on is cool. If you make the most interesting part of the video that you want to work on and put all this like, talent and technique into, if it's only 5 or 10 seconds, you get that creative satisfaction of a challenge without creating a massive workload.
Yeah.
Psychological hack.
It's kind of true. I just feel like a little sprinkle of like a
You
super
like
creative
you like
moment so that I'm
yeah,
fine.
you like making intros.
God.
You, instead of making your static intro, could make changes, minor changes to your intro in every video to
Oh my
challenge
God.
yourself to make yourself feel
I
better.
don't know
Like, you
about
know what I'm
that.
saying? Huh?
Yeah. No,
And here's
I
the
get
other
what you're
thing.
saying.
And by the way, even doing that, you could always work on that when a new video isn't being made. So you always have something to work on. And at the same time, it doesn't, like, you're setting up for a video that you haven't made yet. Because the new intro doesn't have to relate to the thing. It's just that I added a new technique, or I swapped out a technique, swapped out a couple of frames just to do something to stimulate yourself. And then, great. Now that I have a
It's like,
video, this new intro is ready. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I get what
So
you're
again,
saying.
just
It's
hack yourself.
funny.
Like become self-aware, and then find ways to, like, from a productivity standpoint, make life easy on yourself while having fun and being challenging. Because for me, my version of that is making these damn thumbnails. Like, if you look
Yeah.
at my thumbnails
Well,
lately, you can
that's
realize
like a
like he's
useful. You're going ham on the thumbnails, but that's like your
I'm
thing.
having fun though. I'm having fun. Like, I'm like, yeah.
I should send you my thumbnail for tomorrow and see what you think, because I think it's pretty funny.
You want to screen share it?
Can I do that? How do I
Yeah.
do that?
There's a button down there.
Hold on. You guys can roast my computer's so messy. 1 second. I need to find it. Oh my God. Where did I put this? Oh, here it is.
It's that share button at the bottom.
Okay. I'm bringing up
And
the
then
photo.
it lets you pick whatever.
Ooh,
And the way it's
okay.
gonna do it is it's gonna slide us to the side, and it's gonna put the thing on the screen.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Share screen. Share screen.
And then you pick the window or app or tab or whatever, and then it does it.
Oh, did that work?
Yes, it did.
Okay, well, there's the thumbnail.
All right, so I love this actually.
I'm
I love
laughing
this.
when I look.
Here's the one thing. Here's the one thing I'll change. Make the arrow red like all the YouTubers do, and then I think you're golden.
Okay. Yeah, that's an
I think
idea.
that's sick. I think
I
that
was
is a sick.
I was talking to Elliot. I don't think he's still here, but I was like, "What should I do to like make this better?" And he's like, "You need to find a more disgusting trash can for the left." So I spent like so long googling pictures of trash cans. Oh my god, so many of them have like stock logo stuff all over them.
Yeah,
Anyway, it took forever.
yeah, yeah. No, this is good. This is perfect. I'm down with this. The one thing I would do is just change the arrow to YouTube Red, like
Yeah,
all
I'll
the
do
other
that.
YouTubers, and then because that's the YouTubery way is got a red arrow pointing to
You
something.
have to have the red arrow,
Yeah,
otherwise.
yeah, that's the YouTubery thing to do. But other than that, I love this so much. Like that's a clickable
Yay.
thumbnail. That's like
Yes.
some Sorrel. That's on some Sorrel shit.
Oh my god. I had the thumbnail done before the video. That's never happened before in my entire
That's a
life.
Mr. Beast. That's a Mr. Beast thing.
I know. It took Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this now, so hopefully everyone saw it. But it's taken me a long time to get over the stubborn bump of like because I've always been video and idea first and then I'll just go
Hmm.
and then I come up with the title and thumbnail the morning of like after, right? But it's such like a I don't know, it's a stubborn thing because I just need to get over it. And if I want to, actually think about the title and thumbnail because that's how it works.
I
Even
thought
though I've
about
known this, it's hard.
I thought about the thing I wanted my current thumbnail to be because
Hmm.
actually I think I can show you guys. Um, I'll share my screen. I'll do the same thing we just did. Um, I thought about this thumbnail before I made it, but I didn't make it until I made it. And then I posed for it. Can everybody see this?
Wait, I think I have to. There we go.
Okay. So
Nice.
we can all see this now.
Yes, I think they can.
All right,
Can they?
I'm gonna
I'm
look
gonna
at the
check
live
the.
stream real quick to see if they can.
I don't know if it. Oh, yeah, they can. It's a little laggy, but it's there.
Okay. Um, delays. But anyway, so with this thumbnail, I had already decided that I knew I wanted to put like the red dollar amounts and the white. I was choosing between white and green because of like I kept trying different colors behind me with the red, and the only thing that really worked was the purple,
Hmm.
that Spider-Verse purple that I'm becoming very associated with. So I decided to just go with it and make it work. The white works off of it. The red
That's
actually
awesome.
works. It works with my T-shirt. So it makes total sense. And then I found a stock photo from Adobe of the stock market, and then I just did some flares, and voila, I had a good thumbnail. And
That's awesome.
but I had
It
an
looks really
idea
cool.
for the hardest thing for me, Audrey, is the right facial expressions for my thumbnails. Um,
Yeah,
and it's harder whenever I don't shave, because the mustache and
can't relate.
beard changes a facial expression versus being shaven. And I'm starting to realize that's why the YouTubers who make faces, they just go ahead and they're that are dudes, they shave their face, unless they have like a full beard that's like very animated, because the thing is just doing this is not as it doesn't make like it's more distracting than interesting when you make a face. When you're
I
clean
cannot
shaven, it
relate.
works better. Huh? No, girls can't relate to that. But so that's a very specific problem.
I hadn't
And
thought of
then
that before.
yeah, it's a very specific guy problem. And then it's also there's things with angles because I don't want like my up nostrils. So the thing is, and then it's like, all right, do I make a happy face? Do I make a like curiosity face? Do I make a I'm judging you face? Like it'll not be off. Like what will get people to click and not be off putting, or what doesn't set this up to make them think the wrong thing about a video?
Yeah,
So
making
I had
thumbnails
to
is
But like I go, as you know,
Painful.
I go ham on these thumbnails, but it doesn't always mean more clicks. I mean, this one, I thought this was a really good thumbnail. This earn more money thing. I thought
Yeah.
this was a really well done thumbnail, and it had a lot of layers. I put in I do like
Oh my
25
God.
layers of work in Photoshop. I do some like I put in the work. Um,
Same.
but I mean, think
I
about it. I've
just
got like,
realized, wait, I just realized for the people who are listening to this, they have no
mhm.
idea what these really look like. I don't know if I described mine at all. You did a better job of
Oh,
describing yours.
I
Um,
described mine. So like I yeah, all
yeah.
right. So like for that part for the audio listeners, we apologize
Yeah,
for
sorry.
um but um the point is like I mean theoretically I should have used a red arrow in this one. But the
It's the
not
red
that that
arrow
would have
that
got
threw
me
it
any
off.
more not that would have got me any more clicks, but I mean color wise I was thinking, oh, like this is fine or this matches or whatever. But the thing is I'm not even sure if like for this one if making a different facial expression would have been better or not. This just did not get the clicks, and it was on a topic that I'm good at. It's affiliate marketing, and I thought earn more money will get people to generally click on something. And then seeing the social media logos and seeing the phone, I thought that there was enough mental cues to where there's like this should get the right people to click on. Everyone who
Yeah.
watched it loved the video, but it didn't get a ton of
Dang
views.
title thumbnail. Oh my
So the thing is, the other variable that I can't control, and I just stopped sharing because we don't need that for this, and for the audio viewers. The thing I can't control though at any point, Audrey, that you nor I nor anyone can control is this:
Mhm.
is what else is available for people to watch at any given time that can they might click on instead of our video, like, or what else
Entertainment
might they
stuff.
be doing?
Like
Yeah,
crazy brain not
numbing.
present content.
Yeah, brain numbing. Yeah,
This,
yeah, you
yeah,
can't
stupid.
control. Yeah, you can't control. And the thing is, it's no shade to any of that content. It's like,
Yeah,
but you can't control. You can't control what else is monopolizing people's attention, and you can't control the other variable of they'll click on things they're familiar with, which may not be you,
yeah,
or it may not be the content you're covering. Which is why in the tech niche, the good thing is if you lead with the brand, everybody knows the top brands and they're familiar with it and they probably bought it. So that's an advantage that franchises too, Harry Potter, Star Wars, anything that is, and even with the drama channels, they capitalize off the notoriety of if you're not a big YouTuber, they don't make content about you.
well, yeah,
Right.
that would
So,
be pretty
because what's the
pointless.
point? It was like, nobody cares. Like, boom. Like, so there's, there's that. Like,
Yeah,
so the excuse me. So the thing is, I only work on the things I can control, and I make the most of that. And that's why I say I'm not. I think that my one for all philosophy fits you better because I think that it won't be as fast. I got my first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in 12 months, and then 20,000 in 2 years, not 2 years later, but 2 years total, and then 100,000 in year three because of going daily. Um,
yeah,
because I just had more output, which means I had more opportunity to reach people like me. So I had more output. Um, and the thing is, people don't
yeah.
like when
Get
I
more
say that, but the thing
consistent.
is, it was more output without the quality going down. If anything, it went up
Yeah,
because I was getting better. Because the thing is, I got better making more content. I got faster at editing. I got smarter at editing. I got better at planning. I was learning more of the things I was talking about because I was doing more. So I was gaining experience at an exponential rate. And then I was learning faster how to navigate my audience. I was learning faster how the YouTube algorithm works and how analytics work because I had more to work with.
yeah,
I like that's why people argue with me, but I'm like, no guys, every athlete, every musician, every artist and painter gets better doing more, not less. It always is true. I didn't get more. I didn't get more just because of quantity for the quantity's sake. I got more out of it because I had more opportunities and I was getting better incrementally faster than other people who, when you agonize and you don't do something, or you put it off, or even you let yourself get discouraged, nothing happens. But by putting out
Yeah.
content, I was actually seeing new comments every day and finding people I liked and that I could talk to every day, which got me excited to want to make more and do more, because I was talking to people, and it was like someone who was like a lonely, like, like even with my friend group wasn't into the stuff that I was into. They were into some of the things I was into, but not my art shit. That's not who they were.
Yeah.
But I was finding people like me. And so I was getting excited about, oh, more people like me, more misfits. Like, cool. Like, let's keep chatting and like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, even, like,
Yeah.
that's how I met Jason. Like, that's how I met Jason. Like, I was, oh, more misfits like me. Cool. Like, I mean, that's how I met Romina. Like,
Yeah.
that's just like
It's
how,
so true.
that's how I met Sarah. Like, I just, more people, I kept making stuff for people like me and attracting like-minded people. Law of attraction. I kept going. And the thing is, if I had bothered to keep saying something's not good enough beyond needing to not make mistakes, like, all I worried about was eliminating real mistakes, or eliminating real things that were detrimental to the experience of the viewer. Like, bad lighting, bad audio, whatever. Like, that's the only thing I ever worried about, was like, is something distracting to the viewer, and in their experience of like, all right, it doesn't look good, it doesn't sound good. Beyond that, I'm just doing the best I can personality wise. So you like it or you don't, you relate or you don't, it's
Yeah.
whatever. I can't help that in real life, so why am I going to worry about it here?
Yeah.
And
That's
I
so
just kept
true.
going and going, and I got momentum. I got compound interest. For me, it's the same as, if you put money into the market every day, like, as long as like there's not an epidemic, like, if you put money into the market every day, you're putting more money into the market every day, something's going to
Yeah.
happen, right? If you do push-ups every day, something's going to happen. If you run every day, something's going to happen. If you don't, nothing happens. You show
Yeah.
up to work, you clock in, something happens. You stay home, nothing happens. Like, you get fired. Like, so
It's so
I just use
true.
that philosophy. I just use that philosophy of, every day I show up for people like me, and people make me part of their habit, and I reach new people every day. And so, okay, new people every day. So I got subscribers every day. I got views every day, no matter how much it was. And I didn't worry, because I made my video, it got its views, I move on. I made my video, it got its views, I move on. The good news is, enough
Yeah.
of those things kept getting views after I had moved on. And so there was momentum always working in my favor.
Yeah. I think like for me, one thing that's been holding me back is the artsy side is like fighting with the we need to upload stuff side. So
It's
the
not about,
artsy side is like stopping, or the perfectionism, I guess,
oh,
is a better word.
I'll tell you something I did that made that easier. I do artsy stuff all the time, and I satisfy my artsy stuff. I just don't make artsy stuff for other people. I make artsy stuff
Yeah.
for me. Like, remember, I do stuff that never
Yeah.
gets uploaded to the internet.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
that
true.
satisfies me, the creator, and then me, the marketer, does what I need to do. You know, and even the stuff that I make is still expression for me. For me, it's like, these are my thoughts, these are my ideas, these are my philosophies of business. This is how I feel about YouTube. This is how I'm just making content that's expression, and is, I think, valuable to people like me at this point.
Yeah.
Like, other people make the mistake of, I will teach other people how to get views if they want to get views. But the problem is, how much of what they have to do to get views conflicts with what they want in their personality. Because the thing is, all output and work is, are you willing to do the thing to get to the thing? Because you are or you aren't, and there's compromises, and it might limit this or that. Because people get views all the time, and what do? They make videos about being burnt out. They make videos about not being in love with anymore. They make videos about being held hostage by their audience.
Yeah.
Oh, you want? I'm giving the best advice I think I can, because people want to blow up and go viral. I'm like, but I don't. I like going slow, because I like understanding how I got here. I like understanding myself. I like learning, and I accept that it's a slow process. I read books. I'm down for a slow process, because reading books is a slow process to earnestly come by knowledge. Working out and being an athlete is a slow process to come by earnestly the output of getting stronger. The result of getting
Yeah.
stronger. I am patient because I've lived a life wherein things result, and being an artist is a result of patience. The cumulative work of line by line by line, sketching and drawing something, painting something stroke by stroke. Those are not short form result microwaved processes. Those are things that, to get anywhere, you have to come by painfully, slowly, and earnestly. And I think that growing up where we didn't have microwaved results was helpful to me and to my generation, because I think we understand the idea of power being earned. And I think social media culture and YouTube culture, I mean, I'm not saying those people didn't earn it from a hustle or talent standpoint. I'm saying that by virtue of long suffering and time, many people didn't lately. The old
Yeah.
OG generation of YouTube creators had to do long suffering and obscurity, and they had to grow into themselves, and many of them didn't blow up or go viral. They incrementally grew, and they had a moment years after the fact.
Yeah.
But they didn't then suffer the consequences of like being a Jake or Logan Paul, because I think there are consequences to when and I'm not saying those guys didn't work hard, and I'm not saying they're undeserving when I use this phrase, but I will say that their powers were not earned. They were granted. And by that I
Well,
mean they were granted by the disposable watch time of their audience very
yeah.
rapidly and very quickly. They did not earn that power through learning to become a filmmaker. They did not earn that power by learning by making thousands upon thousands of pieces of content, you know, of long form
Yeah.
content, not the vines, which were still well done and well executed for what they were for the format of their time. But I'm saying they were gifted the attention of short form content and easy to digest consumable things. And then with that attention and power, they very quickly leveraged it into success in other platforms. They didn't have to earn YouTube success. They ported over Vine success.
Yeah.
They didn't have to
Exactly.
organically earn YouTube success. They came to YouTube as celebrities from another platform
Yeah.
and ported over an audience that they didn't have to earnestly earn through YouTube's process. And then they kept dumping gasoline on that because they also came to YouTube rich,
Yeah.
because they were
Yeah. They're
influencers in
just
another platform. So like that is not a criticism of them. There's valid criticisms to make. It's not an indictment of them. It's not saying they don't deserve those things. They did do their work, and the market decided to grant them those things. But what I'm saying is from a skills and from a maturity and from a experience standpoint,
yeah.
they basically used hacks. They didn't have to do constantly.
True. That's
The consequences of that is
frustrating.
not knowing. But the consequences, well, don't feel like salty, or don't like, because the thing is they're
I mean,
paying.
I'm not salty or yeah. Logan
I know
Paul
what
and
you.
Jake
I
Paul.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying there are consequences for being Jake and Logan Paul,
Yeah.
and we're
Definitely.
seeing, and people are like,
It kind
oh,
of
but
blew up
they
in their
have
face a little bit.
more than a little bit. Like, for
Hmm.
all the money and for all the success, look, like Jake Paul's having public mental breakdown, and he's binge drinking, and he has a problem.
Wait, I did not know that. Is this about that whole Zane thing?
That was
Or is
him.
that
He was
the anxiety thing?
no,
There's two
it's
right now
all of
with
those
him.
things. It's all of those things, and
Yeah.
it's because he's been drinking and partying, and that's part of a downward
Well,
spiral.
he's like it's like the child what's it called?
Stars,
He literally accused
but
Zayn of being
he's
a
a
child star, and
yeah.
I'm like, dude,
But you're a child star.
you're
You
literally
went
one.
to. You
Oh
weren't
my
even. Were a
gosh.
Disney. You were a Disney kid for a year or two, Jake. Like,
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? You're literally a child star too. That makes no sense.
yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
like, so yeah. So I watched that, and it's like that's the downward spiral of it's hard enough to grow into being a young adult. Augmenting that with money and fame before you're even a legal adult, um, and having gotten that money and fame for immature things,
Yeah.
that only then escalates to reinforce that you're being rewarded for poor behavior.
That just sounds like a bad combo. It
It's why in the
obviously
article
is.
I wrote
Because
about, I wrote an article about them when the Japan thing happened, and I people agreed with me, like, because and said it was the most even-handed, thoughtful commentary on the entire thing. In a way, I wanted to make a YouTube video about it, but I decided to write a Medium post instead because I thought in the written word, I'll get more thoughtful people and I'll make people think if it's in written words. If it's YouTube, it's just tea and popcorn for people. And
Yeah.
they're not going to take away my salient points. And it'll also look like I'm clickbaiting or trying to clout chase or whatever. And it might make
You might
other
not take
YouTubers
it
think I'm going to make
seriously.
criticism videos about them. And maybe I attract the YouTube drama community. Like, I didn't want to be bothered with the hassle of making video commentary on
Yeah,
Jake and Logan Paul.
that was definitely a good move.
So I wrote an op-ed instead, and I was fair as I could be, and I pointed out that I felt that they were victims of their success, and I felt they were victims of having an immature audience, because when your power is granted to you by your audience and by your community, and it's a community of people younger than you that are egging you on, that don't have a respect or understanding of consequences that you might have to live with,
Yeah,
like, you're beholden to them because they gave you everything. So you can't get off that train once you start. Yeah.
yeah.
Once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay, it's almost been 2 hours now. I feel like
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
should wrap this up. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Last
Yeah,
thoughts
that
of the
was
evening go to
awesome.
you before the fake outro.
Oh no. I don't know. I mean, that was fun. We talked a lot
Yeah.
about YouTube stuff, which Romina might have been like, we're supposed to
Why
talk
are
about
we doing that? I
everything.
think we talked to, but I think we talked about life too. I think we talked about,
Yeah,
because I think what we talked about was the creative process,
yeah.
not limited to
And
YouTube.
it's all related. It's all
We talked
related.
about morning routines, and then
That's
we talked
true.
about, yeah, we talked about that. We talked about a little bit about investing. We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, no, this was fun. I hope if people are still here that they
Yeah,
enjoyed
we got a
listening
couple
to
of
us
hangers on.
watching this.
And look, the podcast. Thank you guys, by the way, for supporting the podcast, because we've been
Yeah,
getting a couple hundred views. We don't even have 100 subscribers, and we've been getting a couple of hundred views. So we really
yeah,
appreciate you guys
this is
hanging with us,
awesome. Hopefully,
giving us.
I'll figure out how to upload it to actual podcasting platforms so people can start listening. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, we
this
got
is
that
awesome.
pod. We got that Podbean hosting that I'm paying for. If you guys want to start not Podbean. Why did I say that? Buzzsprout. Sorry, Podbean.
Yeah.
Buzzsprout. We about that Buzzsprout light over here. If you guys want to, um, start your own podcast, I
Hey,
think
they're not
copy.
sponsoring us.
No, they're not sponsoring us, but we will like we will later update the show notes and the description to have a link
Yeah.
for that if you want to check Buzzsprout out.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not sponsoring us, but one day I'll talk to them over at Podfest about doing something maybe. um but yeah, no, this was fun. Yeah, no, this was dope. I actually really like our little NARP podcast. Gabe. All right, thank you. Thank you, Andrew, and also thank you, Gabe. Gabe is saying like a few of my points really resonated with him.
Okay. Sorry, my headphone died, so I have no
Uh,
idea what just happened, but
I was
I heard
reading
your last comment.
I was reading like Gabe's thing. Yeah.
Yay. I feel like I'm just I don't know. Hopefully maybe some of you guys like Gabe can relate to the type of questions or things that I'm asking Roberta because I don't know. I feel like this is hopefully helpful.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing I like doing. Like, this is the thing I like doing is actually talking with other creative people and talking through where they're at in their headspace, because there's
Yeah.
not a there's not like an outlet for that. There's not like a place that people get to go to do that. I mean, they try it a little bit at VidCon and stuff like that, but it usually goes to like partying and doing stuff. And that Vid Summit, it's like absorbing all this stuff and also trying to network and everything like that. So like a
Yeah.
lot of times what I do at these events is I end up like going to dinner or drinks with people or chilling out with them in the room and like talking this stuff out. Like I like having the real conversations with people. Sometimes we film it, and that's been the content on my other channel, the secret channel is me posting like, here's how I interact with people one-on-one, talking about their business or their personal development or their creativity, right?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that my own podcast becomes more of that when it's not me doing flying solo, because
Yeah.
I feel like the real conversations. And I think that that's what my future is. That's why I think in the long term I end up like Gary Vee in terms of like, okay, eventually I'll get there. Is
Yeah.
I think that when I'm in a place where, especially when I have like a location that with good audio where like we can film podcast episodes without like the audio being shite, like I feel like when I can do what Gary did with his interviews and with the Ask Gary Vee show, it'll
Yeah.
definitely be a pivotal point in my overall brand. And I also think that I'm going to use the conferences a little bit for that, but I think that for
Yeah.
me, when people see how I can help them and how I can help them by helping people like them, I think that's going to be a bigger deal. I think that when people understand the philosophy of create, grow, and think about where are you struggling right now? Are you struggling with your creativity and your process and productivity and time? Are you struggling with growth and putting and making that right size in your life and looking at what your objectives are? Or are you struggling financially and then realizing, okay, cool, here's the content that applies to you then, or here's the steps that apply to you, or here are the resources that apply to you? I think that that's part of what grows me, but grows them. Um, and so I think that's when I think that in the 3 to 5 years window from now, because you have to remember, I'm about 7 years into my YouTube career and my personal brand. Gary was at 200,000 when he was where I'm at. And it's no, wait, he wasn't actually at 200,000. 7 years into Gary's career, he still had just stopped doing Wine Library. So he was at 14,000 subscribers on the Gary Vee channel. And he had done 1,000 episodes of Wine Library by now. Like I've done 1,000 of my thing. And Gary didn't even hit 100,000 at this point in his career. Gary was not at
Same.
100,000 at this point in his career. Gary Vee didn't get 100,000 until he was 10 years into YouTube. I'm early. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so like in 3 to 5 years, that's the patience thing. Um I've known friends and people bigger than me who've already quit YouTube. I know people who've already quit YouTube at 1 million subscribers.
That's great.
A friend of mine walked away with 250,000
Why?
subscribers sitting on a dead channel. She felt like she outgrew YouTube and it wasn't making her happy anymore, and she also wasn't getting views as much, and she wasn't really interested in exploring that part of her life anymore. She decided to move on to other
No.
things. But it's like imagine that. Imagine walking away from 250,000 audience and um not even really saying goodbye, just like, okay, I'm done with YouTube, and not
That,
even.
that's kind of sad. Like you would at least
It
say
is.
bye. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think she didn't say bye because I think she was entertaining the idea
going
of,
back.
yeah. But I've known a lot of people who do that, and like I know somebody who I've been Twitter talking to in Twitter that I'm actually convincing them to come back because they left a year ago at almost 800,000 subscribers
No, that's
with
great.
videos with millions upon millions of views.
Dang. I mean, I guess maybe just some people, I don't know, just they're not, that's just not their
But
thing.
see,
I don't know.
everyone says that they want this before they do it and before they've
Yeah.
had to live with it, you know? Because most
Yeah.
people who want to be YouTubers can't imagine walking away from an audience of 50,000, let alone 500,000.
Yeah.
And so, but
I mean,
I've been around, I've lived with this, I've seen it.
yeah, it's definitely not as glamorous as it's hyped up to be. Let's
And
put it
people
that
don't
way.
realize, and like until more of the videos like what Swoop made and the videos that I'm making and with these YouTube income reports, people are realizing that it's not as much money as people think, because again, people who get millions of views and they make decent money look at how much money I make on less views and they're like, oh, holy hell, I wish I was making that much money on my content, because they're making their money on the brand deals, Audrey. Like a lot
Yeah.
of these YouTubers that are getting all these views, if the brand deals go away, people don't realize that they're sunk, because the views on the money on a
Well,
million,
yeah,
there are people making 1 million view
crazy.
videos that are getting less than $500, and they put in effort and it costs them money to make those videos, and by the time for the time they put into it, because you know how long everyone's spending who's not me making their videos. They're making minimum wage, homie. Like, they're making minimum wage on their
Yeah, it's
videos.
crazy.
That's not sustained. Being a YouTuber, and that's why when people make good money, like, aside from the mega YouTubers, theoretically, creators under 1 million subscribers, even if they're like 800, 700, some of them are still poor. And by that I mean relatively, in the sense that they work for themselves, they pay taxes on that money, a lot of taxes, and
Yeah.
they're not making enough money for the time. They would make more money doing any other job, but they would keep giving up a certain amount of freedom. So, like,
Yeah.
it's a whole
Crazy.
thing.
That's great. Okay, we should wrap this up. It's been over 2 hours now. Oh my
All right,
God.
so we're signing out. So,
Yes.
we'll say goodbye to everybody, and then fake outro.
Thank you, everyone who's watching / listening.
Yep, thanks so much, you guys. We appreciate you, Andrew, Gabe, Connor, all the crew, all the NARP crew, Romina,
NARP crew. That
yeah,
should be the hashtag.
NARP crew.
NARP crew.
Romina, we miss you. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
All right. So,
are you doing your fancy outro? That's pre-planned.
Yes. It wasn't pre-planned though, so because also Romina's not here. I would have, like, while Romina was doing whatever or making noises, I would have come up with one.
Making noises.
Yeah.
I'll make noises.
Yeah. So,
distract people.
All right, so here we go. Thank you for listening to the No Assembly Required podcast with only 2 hosts today. We really appreciate you tuning in to the show. The audio will be available later in all of the places audio podcasts can be found. This has been another NARP production with your host, Audrey, the girl not yet on fire, and Roberto, the supervillain of the internet, everyone's favorite heel in the YouTube community. Thank you once again for you listening to the NARP podcast. No assembly is required.
It's funny how your voice changes completely as you do the outro.
Yeah. Well, I'm good at voices. We talked about this.
Okay.
I do
bye,
voices.
guys.
I do voices.